Welcome back, everyone, to a spooky edition of SPY, Tesla, and the Qs. Gonna dive into these charts and see what we can find with key levels to trade off of this week. Now, of course, these are my levels, and of course, they're not set in stone. They may be adjusted throughout the week, so please compare your levels to mine to add conviction into your own trades. Now, SPY, this is a daily chart we have here. If you can see this, daily chart, daily candles that we have here. What I'm looking at here is pretty much the price action that we had on Friday and before that. So we had this extremely bullish candle here. We have now held these levels and continued our way up. Now I'm going to take a look at levels in just a moment, but right now our daily chart looks fairly bullish in my opinion. We are making a little bounce off these lows. We had an extremely bullish candle here, so it's very interesting to see what will happen this week with SPY. I'm going to switch over to a 15-minute time frame, reset my chart, and now I'm going to add my levels to this chart. So just click this here, and there we go. So what I have on my chart, and I'll add this to the screen so you guys can copy and again follow along, and please compare your levels to mine. They're not set in stone. But throughout the week, what I'm looking at on Monday, the 200 EMA is just above us at 403.62. Now to get there, we're going to have to clear 400. 400 is right around this area here. So 400 is the whole dollar 400 level. So I can imagine that's going to hold weight as resistance as well. Now we've made a pretty bullish move from Friday all the way into our close on Friday afternoon, and our aftermarket held those gains. So I'd be surprised myself to see if we continue this bullish run, but if we do, these are the levels I'll be trading. 389.31 up to 400, 403.62, 405.84, 411, and above that 419 area. Now down below, if we're looking for support areas, we could start to look down here where we've tested before. We have 385.85 as a major level. If we come back down below that and close below, I may be looking at puts. Below that, we have the 9 EMA. This is the daily 9 EMA, and 378.39 is that level. We also have right here, we have this 4-hour line here. I want to keep on my chart. We can see that we got a little resistance here, broke through, and are now holding this level as support. So I want to have that on my chart as well. 4-hour line, 376.38. Below that, we have the 20 EMA, 375.10. So really, out of these areas, I'm really going to be more fixated on that 4-hour line, and then this line down here, this purple line, which is 370.26. So if we break down this white line here, I'm going to use this white line as my stop. I'm going to buy puts, possibly down to the 9 EMA, shave into profits, protect myself, and manage the trade and risk from there. Now, if we continue this bullish run, I'm going to be a little hesitant to be aggressive, and the reason for that is because we have made a pretty bullish move already. If I switch over to a 1-hour time frame, I'd like to take a look at this and just point this out, that on a 1-hour time frame, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, almost 14, 15 green candles in a row on the 1-hour time frame. That's pretty rare. We don't see that too often. Now obviously it's signaling that this is pretty bullish in the last so many hours of this chart here, but what I'd like to see here would be a breather, which I think would be very healthy. Come back down to these areas, find ourselves some support, and then continue our bullish run from there. So again, if we start to just bull from here on Monday, I'll be a little hesitant trading calls, although that's probably the sentiment I'll have, is calls up to the 200 EMA and of course that 400 level. Now if we start to come down and we fail this 385.85 level, we have been pretty bullish. Again, if we switch over to our daily time frame here, let me get these off of here. If we switch over to our daily time frame, we are on a bullish run. We're in a bullish run here. So I don't want to be too aggressive on the way down either. So maybe I can mark a level here, 379.22. Let's see if we have that level. 379.22, I believe it was. Looks like a mess here. Bear with me. So 379, 378 we have around there. So we start to come down that area, I could see a possible support. So again, don't want to be too aggressive, but if we come below this 385.85 with clean price action, may take puts from there. If we can hold up above this level, I may take calls from the 389.31. So that's SPY. That's my levels here on SPY. That's what I'm watching this week. Please let me know in the comments what you're watching on SPY, what levels you're interested in, if you like trading these levels. Guys, I also am going to add, I want to make note that In pre-market, I like to add the pre-market high and pre-market low. I like to add those on my chart as well. And oftentimes I like to add the open price line. So for instance, if we go back to, say I'll go to the 50-minute chart here. So on SPY, I'll go to a 1-minute chart, make it easier, excuse me. So back to the 1-minute chart. I'm going to zoom in on yesterday's price action or Friday's price action here. This is where we would close. As you can see, the gray here is the pre-market. This is that last candle before pre-market was over, and this is that 9:30 candle, and from there, bullish. So I would mark this level here. That would be 379.88. Mark that level there, and this would be my opening line breakout. So I'd typically be watching that for sentiment on the day to see which direction we're going to be headed. Of course, I wouldn't be trading aggressive off that level, especially at open. It is pretty volatile with all of that volume. So that's my chart on SPY, guys. Again, let me know in the comments what you think about SPY. Now let's move over to TSLA. I think we can all agree when looking at this chart on Tesla, ticker TSLA on the 1-day chart, that this chart is pretty spooky. We have some major swing highs and some major swing lows. Now, if we zoom in on the recent price action, we can see that Tesla has been basically gapping down until it finally found a little consolidation here and got itself a small bullish run. Now, I'm not convinced on this bullish run just yet, and that's because if you put a line right here, we can see that there is a major level at 234. So if we can clear above that level, hold, and continue to rise from there, then I'd be a little bit more bullish. Until then, I think I'll just trade it directional calls and directional puts and not be too aggressive so I don't get caught in anything nasty. Now, if I switch over to a smaller time frame, the 15-minute time frame I'm going to check out now, and put on our levels of interest, these are the levels that I'll be watching this week. These are the major levels I have on my chart. Now, if we start to gap up, and of course I'll add these levels to the screen as well, so feel free to follow along this week on these levels. So major levels I have is just below us, we have this 227.71. I'm not sure if we're going to hold that level, so that level is very key to myself going into next week. We also have a 20-day EMA just above. This is 230.24. So we have that resistance just above, and above that we have a key level at 233.67. So really a close over 234 to then hold that level would be really bullish up maybe to that 240 level. But of course I do want to protect my profits and take profit where I see fit, so take out the risk in these trades. But Tesla, if it starts to gap down here, 227.71 is my support. If we gap below that, I have a 9 EMA, the daily 9 EMA, sitting at 222.43, which could come into play a little bit, although it's not a certain level that I like to trade off of myself. I use it more so to determine the trend of the stock that we're trading in general. So that daily 9 EMA, I like to see it. If it's above that level, I'd like to possibly buy calls. If it's below, I may be looking for puts from there. Now below we have a major level at 216.35. So that's a key level for myself. And as we can see, if I zoom out a little bit on the 15-minute chart, we can see we broke over here with a bullish candle, continued to rise up, came back down, tested and held, hitting multiple targets from there. Now we have hit this target up high at 233.67. So right now that's a major resistance on my chart, and this is a major support at 216. So this is pretty much the zone that I'm watching right now. I want to see us break out to the high side over the 233, or come back down to the 216, break below, and give us a major move. So Tesla, I love to trade each day, as you guys know. It's very liquid when it comes to options, so it allows me to get in, get green, and get out of my trades quick. If it doesn't go my way, I always like to get out of the way fast, especially with Tesla, as it can get pretty nasty. So major resistance above, we have this 20 EMA, then we have that 233.67, 240.71, 247.60, and 249.97. Major levels I'll be watching. Start to come down a little bit. I'm watching for support around this 208, 207 level and 216, as these are my major levels of support. Now, if we break below this, I'll be changing my tune and looking for puts. If we can get above this 233.67, I'll be looking for possible calls to the next level. So that's Tesla, TSLA. Feel free to compare your levels to mine this week. Pretty spooky chart. last but not least, we have the spooky Qs. Now, it's spooky because it's in a downtrend, similar to the rest of the charts that we've taken a look at here. SPY, Tesla, the Qs, all in the same kind of downtrend with these small bullish runs that just don't seem to hold up. So let's take a look at the price action recent. So again, this is a daily chart on the Qs, QQQ, 3 Qs, believe I got that right. We have a extremely bullish candle here, right? And that was our reversal and started to trend up from there. And we did have a pretty bullish candle on Friday to close up the week, which is nice to see. Now let's take a look at levels that we have to trade. Break it down to a smaller time frame. Let's go to the 15-minute time frame. Zoom in a little bit here, and there we go. So it may look like a mess. Bear with me. I'll go over this real quick. We've got support down here, all the way down at the bottom, 268.41, 271.81. These are our major support areas. We start to come below that, I'm going to be pretty bearish on the Qs. But we do have the 9 EMA and the 20 EMA just below our current price, sitting at 276.04 and 277.21. So this is pretty interesting. So this may hold as support. So this is something worth noting and something I will be watching going into next week. The only thing I don't like about this is we are a little clustered. We have a lot of levels and not a whole lot of gaps. So if we want to look bullish here, we want to get above this 285.39. If we can get above that 285.39, we may get a leg up to the 290 and 293 area. Now, of course, I'm not looking for that giant move. I'm looking to scalp the breakout. So if we get above this 285.39, that's where I'll be looking to possibly buy calls. And of course, just get in, get green, get out for myself. Not looking to overstay my welcome. Now we do have major levels above at 293.95. We have above that 300 even, then 303.50, 307, and up here we have that 200 EMA on the daily chart at 310.24. So of course that will come into play if we can get up that high. Now the Qs are pretty bullish. Again, if we switch back over to that daily chart, turn off these levels here, zoom in a little bit, we can see that yes, we had this nasty move down. We got that bullish candle, and ever since we have been gapping up. Now, I'm not sure if we're going to hold up or not. Again, it looked pretty bullish on Friday, despite a lot of people's thoughts. So we will see what happens. But me, myself, just going to trade the levels that I have in front of me. And these are the levels that I'll be watching going into Monday for our Spooky Monday.
Alright, I'll do it. Hey guys, it's me, your neighborhood. I just wanted to come here and make sure to remind you to protect profits in this crazy market and also have a happy and safe Halloween. Can I have candy now?